Morning guys. Right, okay, so the other one I'm going to probably drill the holes, but with this one I'm going to do it the old school way, and the way that right, if you remember where we left off yesterday, we took the pencil in and I've just put a little mark there where I could drill, but I'm going to do it like I said with the foil, and you can just see down here there where we've got to come up with the foil, and then we'll come back with the grinder after and we'll clean all this radius up. Okay, so all I've done is I've popped the pivot pin in, I've popped the washer in, I've done what I normally would do. I found out what I want for the spacer material, which is going to be some micarta. So okay, and there won't be no milling involved. I've found something that's at the right size, so you know, a lot of people ain't got a way of milling stuff down and stuff, so I've done it that way and scooted around and found something. That's what most people will probably do, find what's going to fit rather than make that thing fit and flat. Are you with me? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to take a chainsaw foil, just an ordinary chainsaw foil, and we're going to start working this. Now I have bits of leather obviously all over the place, and you know, this is a great one, and I've cut a little hole in it and I use this all the time. So I'll just set this up and I'll try and bring the camera over maybe, and you can, I know I'm going to do that, but okay, I'll set the camera up, I'll bring you back. Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm doing now. Right, there's going to be a lot of foiling, a lot of test fitting, so I hope I'm not going to be in the way. I probably will be at times, but here we go. Now you could just drill this hole out a bit offset from that and then work that in. That's the quicker route, but I said I weren't going to do that with this one, so we're going to do it like this, and then the other one I'll do like that. But this is a way of making sure, whoops, you're going to get there. Doesn't take too long really if you've got a good foil. Now if you can do your template in CAD, you can just drill these 3 holes, but what I suggest is just doing this one and leave the bottom one and work the bottom one with the foil. If you haven't got a CAD program, by just doing the pivot hole and working the foil, this is the you know, the way of doing it, because I know not everybody's got a computer and they can't always do it that way. So, and this is a way to ensure you do get it. What we'll do is we'll bring that around, then we'll come back in with the grinder, or you could do it with a foil. I might do it with a foil yet, just to show you, and it'll come round and then into that groove. Getting closer. We'll come back in and clean all this up as well, and that's got to be cleaned up there, as you can see with the little line, I think. It doesn't take too long. What's that, a couple of minutes if that? Probably ain't even been that. Right, we'll do a little test fit now. Okay. I'm going to do a little test fit now. Oh, actually, we're going to need to stick the stop pin in to do this test fit. Oh, it's hot today again. Oh, nice. This one's not too bad. So, okay. We can't do that yet. We're going to have to grind some of this away first. So I'm going to do a little bit with the foil. I'll probably go back then with the grinder and okay, so we'll pop it back in. You can use a penny to draw around this. I'm going to grab a foil. This is a bastard foil. I'm sure it is. Okay, I'm just going to put my fingers there so I don't go into that too much. Sort of a stop, there's no teeth there, so just saves me marring all that up. I could do without because there's no teeth. I wanted to do it like this just so you know you can do it with basic tools. You don't need big posh grinders and big posh milling machines and all that type of stuff. Okay. Let's have a little look at that. Okay. See if we can then, we won't be able to put it in the stop yet because we've got to do that, but we'll just see if it'll move past the pin. Oh. Always, if you've done any filing or, you know, make sure you keep cleaning this pivot out, because it's just going to act as an abrasive in there and it's just going to widen your hole. That's why these are always here. Okay. Okay, still a little bit more, but what I might be able to do is just bring it past that point and see? So we still need to do a little bit more and then it should come round into that, so we take that to that point there and then we'll test fit again. I hope you can sort of see what's happening here with the test fitting constantly. Okay. Okay, we'll try again. Remember, clean the pivot hole. It is important. Each time you slip it in and out of that pivot, if there's, you know, grinding dust or whatever in there, it's just gonna make the hole. Because don't forget, this is still annealed as well. So, you know, you are going to widen the hole. Right, okay. So now we can see that's where we're at. What we can start doing now is roughly, okay, we can start now building the channel in there for it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll make a little mark roughly where that thing's stopping and the sort of line of travel. And we'll start working that now with the right chainsaw file again. Okay. Get it going. Once you've got a little groove, it'll become a lot easier then. No, little bits by little bits here. You want to try and keep things as neat as possible. Okay, we'll just have a little go there now, just to see. Okay, it's starting to come round now. We're getting there. See, it doesn't take too long. There's less chance of you drilling the holes wrong or making a big mistake doing it like this. This is why I've done it. I don't want you to get disheartened, you know. And that's really easy done with folders. Right. Okay. Okay, let's have a little look at that. It's coming. Bit closer. Right, I can really see now where you should be able to see really now where you need to be at and where this sort of hole needs to be now. We can come back in after and make all this pretty on with the grinder or with the foil. Okay, let's have a little look. Oh, much closer. See now where? Up here now, look. Okay. We go again. Tap your fork, get all the things out. You should see as well if you mark that little dot. Try this. Try that. We're sort of getting in that line now, in that pane. So you sort of roughly know anyway, if you know what I mean. You think them lines, all them holes have to all be in a straight line. The one's just a little bit off centred. Ooh. Once I take that little lip off, that won't be far off at all. This is where you start being a bit more careful. And what I could do here is maybe come in with the foil. Square that off a little bit there. That's where you're utilising your foils now. Just so you don't have, you know, if you can't keep going back to the grinder like I can. Okay, so we take that little lip off. Okay, we'll just have a quick test fit to see how we've done with that, because we've moved some more material. Okay, we ain't far off at all now, are we? Look. Okay, so we need to widen the top end of that hole. Right, so we're up here now. Remember, lifting often and check, you know, I roughly sort of know, you know, so, but with you, I check more often than I'm doing. Especially if you haven't done this before. Okay. Right, what we need to do now to be able to slip into that, and I'll tell you, we won't be far off perfect there, just take that little lip off now, at the top. We won't be far off at all. Okay. This goes a lot quicker, obviously, if you can get onto your grinder. If you haven't got a, you know, this might be better with a smaller foil, if you can't get in with a bigger one, so. Foils are a lot cheaper than grinders. Okay, starting to get there, it's starting to look a little bit neater and stuff. So, try this, see how it looks. Whoa, okay, very, very nearly. Okay, right, what we need to do is take some from up the top up there, just to get that to slip into place. Okay. Like that. Okay, now I'm happy. There we go. Okay, then we can come back now and we can grind off that excess here. So I always leave these much bigger than I'd need. We're in there now, it's stopping nice. Okay, we need to take some off the bottom now to start working the top, and then I'll bring you back. Working some off the bottom so we can start working the bottom stop pin now. Just need to take some off this radius, not much. just so it will swing round. Whoops. Okay, so that's where we're at there. As you can see, to be able to get that, what we can do here is sort of like lift it past that point. Sometimes you can and see, no you can't with this one. Sometimes you can lift it up past that point, drop it back down and see there. So what we need to do now is just gently start rocking this around, you know, so you can sort of see roughly where it's going to come off. Okay, I'll bring you back. Okay, as you can see now, we've got the open position, and what we're doing is we're slowly starting to work that closed position, and I'm just doing the same thing again, and I'm going to keep working that now until that sits just there. Okay, I ain't going to bring you through all that because you've seen me do it with that one, you know, and okay, so you can see what's happening. You just keep working that now, that hole, bringing it up until you're happy with where it sits, and I'll bring you back. Right, all I'm doing here now, because you know there was a quite here we go, probably not so bad with this one. See, there was like a kind of a straight transition there, and you don't want that. You always want a little bit of a curve. It's a bit easier to do with the grinder. You just ride the belt over, but you just use a round file, and while I'm here doing this, I might as well sort that out now. It'll look a lot neater too. Right. Okay. So we'll just do a little test fit. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Once I've knocked this little lip off here, I think that'll be just about right. So we'll pop that in, and you know, don't too worry about having things too pretty at first. You want it to work, and then you can come back in and tidy all this sort of stuff up and make the internals look a bit neater. So what I'm doing here now is just trying to knock that lip off. It's coming. You have to be very careful now at these points. Very gentle. You don't want to be taking too much off when you're sort of at this stage. Right, no matter how, you know, if it looks a bit, you know, don't worry about that, worry about it being, you know, opening and closing right. Whoops. Okay. There we go. I am literally a little tiny bit away from it, look. You see? I just need to do a tiny little bit there. Just a little bit, and we'll be right where we need to be. So I'm going to do that, and I'll bring you back. Okay, we're there. See, and I've been able to do that by just gently working it where I need to. You drill those 3 holes, and you can still do it that way, you know, but I've done it this way so people can, you know, work it very slowly with very small tools, and be able to achieve what they want to achieve. You know, I'm happy now with the open, with the closed, and the open position. Okay, next point is to whip this steel off. Now you could do this with a file. I'm not going to do that, obviously. You know, I'm going to go and take that to the grinder, and we'll grind that off, and you know, also do all the other process. I'm going to bring you through the other one because I'll do that in my own way. And okay, I'll we'll go to the grinder and we'll whip that off. Well, I'll whip that off with the grinder. You don't need to see me grind that off. And I'll be back. Okay. Okay guys, so all I've done since then is just hand rubbed it again like I shown you before. I've added some holes in the end as I do with mine. I haven't shown you this process because this is something I do with mine, my you know, friction folders. It's the same with the tang on the end. This is something I do with mine. You can use your imagination and you can come up with whatever works for your, you know, little bottle opener or whatever shape you want. You know, this is something I do with mine. You know, this is sort of my look for my you know, friction folders. And I just cleaned up round there just a little bit. You know, I've not done nothing major, you can see, and I've done there for my trademark ricasso area. Okay, so that's where we're at. Right, so let's have a little test fit. Put your washer on, your phosphor bronze washer. Oh, feel a bit of resistance. If you do, clean your hole, your pivot pin hole out. So that's where we're at, and as I said I was going to do, I've brought the tang down to be in line with the top, and I've just left it raised. I mean, it looks loads on the camera there for some reason, but it's very, very minimal. And that's just so your hand has a little bit more purchase when you grab it. I mean, I could just grind it down so it's perfectly flush, no problem. But so that's our open position. Now bear in mind, you don't have to copy this friction folder. This is to give you an idea of how to make one in your own design. So and that's closed. Okay, so we'll stick the other washer on. We'll have to press fit this other side in to the pivot. As I say, I press fit my stock pins in, and that's where we're at. Don't forget, this is my design, so don't all start making one the same, please. You know, it give you an idea of, you know, it's so you can make your own, how you want yours to look, but all the fundamentals in it, you know, is the same. Okay, so that's this is where we're at. Okay, like I say, I've got to press fit that in. I just stick the little screw in at the minute. We can see where. Okay, so that's where we're at. Got a bit cleaner now, in it, and a bit more like a knife. That's it in its open position. As you can see, it's raised a little bit, just slightly, and I've got to do my jimping on there yet. You know, so that's where we're at. They're going to be nice, these. You know, as you can see, I've rounded that out as well there, where my ricasso will be, just so that the lines flow. Yeah. Okay. So that's where we're at for that. Now, backspacer. This is where you want the measurement there we are. This is where you want the measurement from your two washers that you're using, whatever the size these are, whether you make your own, whether you buy them in. These are phosphor bronze ones. You can use Nylotrol. You could even use bearings maybe on these if you wanted to. I mean, you don't have to use washers, but they help with the, you know, the smoothness. What you want to do then is take your, I'll use this because this is what most people will use. I've got a micrometer here that I use all the time, which is really, really accurate. That's me and my OCD. but these are accurate too. So right, so what you want to do now is take a measurement of those two. Oh, am I going to do this on camera? Right, which are 4.65, and for our American brothers, 4.6, that's 0.1815 and 23/128 in a fraction. So you know, like I say, with the frame locks, this is a lot more critical than it is with the friction folders. But okay, so that's where we're at with that. What we need to do now is I need to cut some spacer material out. We need to look at where to place our retaining screws, and I'll show you how to do that and tap them and stuff. Okay, bye for now, Lee. Oh blimey, this is, I tell you, I'm having a nightmare getting the other one loaded. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use as a back spacer. Some micarta, which is giving me very tight tolerances, as you can see, but absolutely perfect. You know, what you want to do is scout around and try and find what works. If you can't find something that's near, laminate some stuff together, some micarta and maybe a couple of pieces of fibre liner, or you know, and if not, what you're going to have to do is just hand sand it or get it on your grinder, but and just keep rubbing, or use a piece of metal that's roughly the right size. Like I say, it's not so critical. You can be a couple of points either way with this, with the I mean, this is near enough bang on. I'm just lucky. You know, if I didn't, you know, I'm lucky as you know, I can get on the mill and I can mill it off and get it to the thickness that I need. But what you can do is, if you can't do that, and before I had that, and I had to do it, is you just stand sand and keep measuring till you get it something like, or you laminate stuff together till you get where you need to be, or you make a couple of standoffs. You use those inside, you know, but that's another video really. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is draw a line inside. Okay, draw a line inside. Like this, just with a pencil. This is one of them little fine mechanical ones that I really do like, and I tend to use an awful lot with this and my leather work. You know, because they give a very fine, right. Okay, so that's where we're at with the, now I can roughly, now what I'll do is probably take a piece of paper, we'll pop this back on, pop the stop pin back in. We can draw where our tang ends, like that. So if you want to take your backspacer right up to it, so there's no gap in there at all, what we'll do now is we'll take our bit of paper, we'll slip that just underneath like that. Right, okay, turn it over like that. We draw around this, like that, turn it over, shut the knife like that, then draw around the inside. Okay, take the paper out and we'll have the outside, then you'll see it coming through the paperwork. 2 seconds. if you press, you know, hard enough with your pencil, you'll see it the other side. And then what we've got then is, you see, cut this out now, and we have to transfer that now to the mod card or whatever you're using for your backspacer. And we've now got, you know, I'll make this a little bit short because you know, you don't want the blade touching it, even though it, you know, just make this a slightly bit shorter. And then we got our little template for our backspacer now. Okay, I'll sort this out, I'll bring you back. Okay, so good old Pritt stick, just to give us an idea. Now I want to try and get 2 out of here if I can, obviously, because I've got the other one to do, and this will just be rough for now, just to, okay, so we'll cut this out now. I can turn it on. Oh, it's going to be one of them days today, I know it. Just rough, because also, you know, obviously I want to grind this down flush with the you know, the thing. Whether I'm going to get 2 out of that, I don't know. I'm going to have to cut more out by the looks of it. Yeah, it don't matter. Okay, okay, so what I'm roughly doing here now is just taking that. First of all, I know where that ends. I've put a little mark. We'll transfer that little mark on top, just roughly. Okay, we'll pop him in. One side's loose on my stopping, the other one's press fit. It just helps, because obviously I've just wind that just very slightly, because otherwise I have to keep, you know, especially for this today, my other one will be, you know, keep going back to the arbor press and just keep, you know, press fitting it in, out, in, out, in, out. But the other side, as you can see, is a press fit, so which is great. That's what you want. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what we want to do now is just open and close. Roughly get that where we need to be at. Remember, I've oversized this. Turn it over. Look for where that mark is. She's there. We're going to then draw, because you still have the paper on. Round this again. Put the lanyard hole in as well. Okay, now we can see where we need to be stopping. I'll still cut this oversize, and I'll keep working this down so it's a nice, you know, fairly decent fit between the two. So that's what needs to come off that now. Okay. Okay. What I'll do now is got this off a little bit oversized. I'm going to go and do that, and then we'll look at where we want screws and stuff. Okay, I'm now going to just use my little multi grinder with a little disc sander just to roughly, you know, take some of this off. Shouldn't be too far off. Don't want to be too mad, like I just did then. Okay. What I'm going to do now, put a little belt on. We've just cleared up the profile inside. Horse is hard with you in the way. Even though these things are not really seen inside, you know, I still, you know, you still got to finish them, and you know. Okay, so there's our back spacer. So, okay, right, what we need to do now is
take a video.
No, I'm doing the video, my baby. Hold on. What we're going to do is work out where we want the screws now to hold this back spacer in. Okay, so there we are. We'll turn that over. And this is down to you and aesthetics really, where you want to put them, but depending on what screws you use as well. I use Lem 3s, you can use whatever you like. So we'll have one in. I might put a little pocket clip on this, titanium pocket clip as well, I don't know yet. We'll have one there. We'll have one there. And one there. Okay. I'll get a little screw now and just roughly see the diameter. Sometimes I'll draw the little circle on, so I know, you know, you don't want to get too close to the edge with them. So
if you get too to the edge, it won't do itself.
Alright mate, we'll get a little circle. That's roughly the size of the head, so what we'll do is take this now.
Take this.
Hold on, son, because Dad's video in a minute.
What?
It's just 2 minutes, baby.
I'm sitting down for a rest.
One there.
Two there. 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10.
One there. One there. Okay, you can see now, I know roughly that's where the heads will be when I've finished, and you want to leave a little room for contouring your edges. So I'll put little dots in the middle of them circles now, and we'll drill the hole for the tapping, and we'll get to that in a second. What I've also done is I've drawn the back spacer on the outside, because it's only pencil and we can rub it off, just so that you know when you do come through with the screws you've got enough room. I hope that makes sense, you know. When you come through with the screws, so you'll have enough room on your back spacer. So that's where the 3 screws will be on this one, okay? Just thought I'd check that just in case you go drilling holes and your backspace is too thin on the other side. I've done that. Okay, I've just dotted the holes in now with the centre punch. Okay, and now we'll drill the holes for the M3. Hi guys, sorry if you can't hear me. The missus decided she wants to cut the garden, so I'm just this is a 2.6mm drill bit for an M3 tap. Now I've just broke testing something out, which is, this tap was £40. It was a Dormer thread forming tap, so I'm a bit peeved. So I wanted to do it with the thread forming tap, but because it makes my life a lot easier. I've spent that much on taps and I broke that many taps, I can't even start to tell you. It's crazy. But I'm just sanding the burr off. It is what it is, and that's that. So we now need to tap these, and I'll bring you back in a second. Okay, this is what's working for me at the minute. But I've broke a lot of taps, like I say, and that thread forming tap was great to use in the mill, and I tried to use it so I could keep you in here, and obviously I've broke it. But right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start there's a 3-stage with tapping. I'm going to start the tap off with the first part of the 3-stage. I can't remember now, there's a bottom end and a something end, and these are cobalt ones. So for some reason this is going alright today. It's normally really sticky. Bloody hell, that is easy. Normally after then, I normally go to an hand drill then. Of course he's killing my back. I'm going to try and move you around a bit. Okay. Oh. Anyway, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go back through with the other 2 taps just to make sure, and don't break this tap leaf for Christ's sake. And then I'm going to continue doing all them. Okay, so you've seen me do that one, and I'll do the same with these, and then go through with the other tap, and then go through with the, you know, the other tap, and until it's all done. Okay, so if I don't break a tap in it, and if I do, I'll explain to you how to get it out if it's titanium. Okay, bye for now, Lee. Okay, what I've done now is I've gone through with that one. Now I know all these holes are square, you know, because I've done it with my little tapping jig. And what I like to do then is just get the drill on its lowest setting with a good torque, you know, make sure it's got a good torque on it. Just gently, then run the other 2 pieces for tapping. Find the thread and then just, and then that is done. Now we don't normally go that easy, but can't believe I broke the thread former. I shouldn't have done that, I should have just done it. Anyway, there we go. We have maximum amount of thread. You can do it with a 2.5mm drill bit, but in titanium it's a bugger. You get a bit more depth of thread obviously from that, but this is more than enough. There we are. 1 screw, tap, nice and tight, it's not going nowhere. Okay, so what we need to do now is, I don't drill and tap the liner, we'll just do a clearance hole for them, and then we'll drill and tap the other side. Okay, then we can put the liner in. Bye for now, Lee. Okay, all we're going to do now is transfer them holes and we drill them. So Okay, pen, or sometimes I use my transfer punches, but you should still have the paper on your template, so you should be able to see. There we go, the little holes. So we'll now drill them holes out, and for the clearance holes, and we're away again. Okay, that's the backspacer in, screws in, backspacer in. Now I go really tight with this hole, and it's sort of, they sort of very lightly tap through as well when I push the screws through with a little right, so it's a nice tight fit, you know, but you can go, you know, a little bit wider so they're a little bit loose. It doesn't really matter, because when you pull it all together and it sandwiches, I just like everything to be nice and tight, you know. You can tap this as well if you want. I do it so it's just, you know, very lightly, you know, as you can see, it's not going to come off, you know, but the threads are nowhere near as strong as they are in the toy, if that makes sense. Don't hit that, son, please. Okay, I'll bring you back in a sec. Okay, time to countersink the screws to accept the little, so the M3 sit properly. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this with you here, but I know that's probably about right. That one maybe. Okay. Okay, I've took the little white piece of paper off. First assemble now. We'll see where we're at. Hopefully up until now, with your own design, you've you know, when you have a go, you'll be at this stage, and you'll be starting to feel quite proud of what you've done, you know, or where you're getting in the build, if you know what I mean. We've got to drill the lanyard hole yet. Okay, if you've done them properly, they should be looking like that, you know, near enough flush. They're very slightly, but when I hand rub this now, when I hand rub it, these will be nice and really flush, so you don't want to take it. That I'm happy. That's great. I'm happy with that. It should be now at a stage where this is what it's looking like. We've got to countersink these in yet, and we're going to drill the lanyard hole in a minute. Sometimes you can put a lanyard tube in it, and I have done with a lot of my others, and sometimes you can just leave it without one in. Oh yeah, very smooth. If you can see, the tolerance, it's perfectly centered. Yep, centered all the way down. And the tolerances, you know, there's no big gaps either side of the knife, because the tolerances are, you know, it's been done right. You know, I haven't had to stick double washers on or anything like that. Very nice. Okay. Be nice, these will, when they're done. As you can see, there's that bit that I'll put a bit of jimping on, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put some, well, this is where you do your own thing now. I'll put some little like my dragon's tail in this, and I'll start sprucing it up a bit now. I'll have my swedge on and stuff like that, and but this was giving you an idea that it is achievable without big expensive tools. So as you can hear, no rubbing. It is going to have a clip on. I'm going to put a contoured clip, titanium clip on this one as well, so with both of them. So I'm going to drill the lanyard hole in a second, and I'll show you the process of how I pocket this pivot in. Other than that, then it's aesthetics really. It's the contouring, and all that type of stuff, which it's not down for me really, guys, to show you that's your own inspiration, and that's your own thing for you to do. If I show you that how I'm going to do this, you'll only want to go and do that. That's normal, and I'm going to stifle your inspiration. At the end of the day, you do what you feel's right, and where you want to put something rather than where I think it should go, or where I want to put it. I hope this makes sense. That's why I'm not going to go into details about how I'm going to put the finishes on and stuff like that, because once you've got a bare bones like that, let your imagination go crazy. You add little contours in where and there, you add this little bit in there and there where you feel as though the knife needs it. Okay, take care for now, Lee. There we go. I've just and that's why you want to do your lanyard hole when it's all together like that, and then just drill through it. Then the inside's going to be perfect, rather than spot drilling it and then doing it after, if that makes sense. Get it all together and then drill through as one. Now you can either put a lanyard tube in here. Sometimes I like to flare one in the end, but this is aesthetics. Or you can leave it without any lanyard tubing at all. That's up to you. Okay. Just thought I'd show this before the camera runs out. This is the type of thing you can do with what I've been showing you if you put some energy and time in. This is just a rough grind 80 grit finish that I've just banged in. This is some contouring I've done on the scales. So hopefully what I've been showing you, when you make yours, you can make something like this as well, or something of your own style. The other one will be real nice and clean, like how this was, but this is me, with these, and I'll finish off there, and I'll do another video on grinding and stuff as I've done before. So, but I basically wanted to show you the fundamentals. There's not much more I can show you with this apart from cleaning up and rubbing with sandpaper and stuff, which you'll want to do yourselves, so I've shown you everything you need to be able to build your own knife. This is ready for heat treat now. I've popped the swedge in. It's all nice and even, as you can see. I've got a couple of minutes left on my card, so I just thought I'd finish off with this just to show you what you can do with what I've shown you. Dream up whatever you can dream up, as long as those 3 holes are in line and the one's just out a little bit. The rest of your blade shapes and everything, and what you want to do is endless. Your scales, the shapes you can do are endless. As long as the ratio of these two fit in each other, the world's your oyster. I've shown you how to put a decent hole in, so you've got no slop at all, either way. The only thing that I needed to show you was how to countersink the pivot holes. What you can do for that is use a counter bore, and I think that's the way to go. Most people will be able to get that rather than be able to do it on the milling machine with a carbide bit, and that's why I've left that out, because most people ain't got a milling machine. But there's a lot of friction folders out there that don't bother sinking these down at all. They just leave them out like that. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to leave that out, because you know, it might be a bit beyond what most can do with the tools they've got. So I will do a video on that to show people how to do that, but you know, rather than do that and think, you know, if you can just leave yours out like that, and that's fine, and you get a lot of friction folders and a lot of people who do that, they don't sink these in, they just leave them out like that, and when you hold it, it doesn't get in the way, or it doesn't interfere with your hand or make it any of a, you know, a lower end knife or anything like that. So and rather than confuse the issue and think, you know, some people, okay, it's about to go, take care, I hope it's helped you, bye for now. Lee.